When people think about MrBeast, they imagine the guy giving away houses, cars, islands, or millions of dollars in cash. But what many don't realize is that this generosity is just one layer of a much bigger financial picture. The real question is, how much money does he actually make? And how does this whole machine stay alive? Let's start with the most obvious revenue stream, YouTube ad revenue. With billions of views per month, his main channel alone is estimated to generate tens of millions annually. But here's the catch. He's not pocketing all that money. Instead, he pours it right back into even crazier videos. That's why the scale keeps getting bigger and the returns keep multiplying. The reinvestment strategy is what sets him apart. Where most creators cash out, he doubles down. Then you have sponsorships. Companies are willing to pay massive amounts just to be featured in one of his videos because they know the exposure is unlike anything else. We're talking about brand deals that can easily cross 6 or 7 figures per integration. Add merchandise into the mix. His Beast brand clothing sells at an insane rate, and suddenly the numbers start stacking up beyond what most YouTubers could even dream of. But the story doesn't stop there. He's not just a creator, he's an entrepreneur. His burger chain and snack company have turned his brand into physical products people can buy. This is where the real empire building begins. Digital influence is powerful, but when you translate that into businesses that generate recurring revenue, you start creating wealth that lasts far beyond views and clicks. And here's the most overlooked piece: brand equity. MrBeast isn't just another content creator, he's a global brand. That means his name alone carries a financial value that investors, advertisers, and companies recognize. This is what makes billion-dollar valuations possible. Man, the full story of MrBeast's money is not just about income, it's about vision. He plays the long game, constantly reinvesting, scaling, and building businesses that could outlive YouTube itself. If he wanted, he could cash out today and never worry again. But that's not the plan. He's building a legacy. So when you ask, how much money does MrBeast make? The answer is far more than the surface numbers suggest. And his empire is worth hundreds of millions, potentially heading toward billions, because he understands the single most important principle of wealth. Money is not just for spending, investment, it's for multiplying. When we look at the financial success of MrBeast, the first thing that becomes clear is that his fortune does not come from just one place. Most creators rely almost entirely on YouTube ad revenue. And while that can be substantial, it is also inconsistent and limited. What sets him apart is the way he has developed multiple income streams that work together to create an empire. YouTube is the foundation, with billions of views bringing in tens of millions in advertising revenue every year. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. He has learned to treat his channel as a launchpad rather than a destination. And that decision is what has allowed him to multiply his earnings in ways most people don't see on the surface. Sponsorships are one of the most powerful additions to his business model. Brands are eager to be featured in his videos because they know that the scale of his audience is unmatched. A single integration can reach more viewers in one upload than some companies could ever hope to reach with traditional advertising campaigns. This is why sponsors are willing to pay massive amounts to have their names included in his content, and these deals often add millions to his yearly income. Unlike ad revenue, which is dependent on YouTube's algorithm and fluctuating CPM rates, sponsorships provide more direct and predictable streams of cash that can be negotiated on his terms. Then comes merchandise. His clothing and branded items have become a staple for his audience, and they sell at a pace that rivals some of the most popular fashion brands. By tying his identity to physical products, he has tapped into a form of revenue that extends beyond the digital space. Fans want to own a piece of the brand, and that emotional connection translates directly into sales. With merchandise, he has created a reliable stream of income that doesn't depend on new videos being uploaded every week. It allows his empire to generate cash, even when he is not producing content. His food ventures take this diversification even further. MrBeast Burger and Feastables are not just side projects, they are full-scale businesses that leverage his brand to dominate industries outside YouTube. These ventures introduce an entirely new kind of income stream, where scalability is virtually unlimited. By moving into the food sector, he has positioned himself in a market that operates at a global level and can generate recurring revenue for decades. And this is how you transform a creator brand into something that resembles a multinational corporation. All of these income sources work together to create a system where the whole is far greater than the sum of its parts. Ad revenue fuels the spectacle, sponsorships provide stability, merchandise adds consistent cash flow, and food ventures open doors to massive long-term growth. The strategy of spreading income across these different channels ensures that his empire isn't reliant on one fragile stream, but instead operates with balance and resilience. It's this diversity that allows him to keep scaling higher and higher without the risk of his empire collapsing if one piece slows down. His wealth is not just about making money in one place. It is about building a financial ecosystem where every part strengthens the other and keeps compounding over time. One of the most fascinating aspects of MrBeast's rise is the way he reinvests nearly everything he earns back into his content and brand. Most creators focus on maximizing personal profit, often pulling money out as soon as they see success. He, on the other hand, treats every dollar as an opportunity to create something bigger, more ambitious, and more memorable. This reinvestment strategy has become the defining feature of his empire, and it's the main reason his growth has been so explosive. Instead of shrinking his ambitions to fit his budget, he continually stretches his budget to fit his ambitions. Investment. And that cycle has created a level of scale few others could dream of achieving. Consider his videos that give away cars, houses, or even an island. On the surface, they look like expensive stunts, the kind of thing that might drain a budget rather than build it. But in reality, every one of those giveaways is a calculated reinvestment. By spending hundreds of thousands or even millions on a single video, he creates content that draws in tens of millions of viewers. Those views generate more ad revenue, attract more sponsors, and fuel more merchandise sales. The more he spends, the more attention he gains, and the more the cycle continues. What looks like wild generosity is actually an ingenious reinvestment loop designed to keep scaling upward. This approach also gives him a unique advantage over competitors. Most creators are hesitant to risk large sums because they fear the video won't perform well enough to justify the cost. He removes that hesitation by accepting that even if one project doesn't deliver immediate returns, the reinvestment will still strengthen his brand long term. Viewers have come to expect that every new upload will top the last in scale and creativity, which keeps his audience engaged and loyal. That loyalty is the hidden asset created by his reinvestment strategy, and it's one of the reasons he's been able to sustain such massive momentum for years. Another overlooked element is how reinvestment fuels credibility with sponsors and investors. Companies want to align with creators who can guarantee large-scale reach and influence. By consistently putting money back into production quality, investment giveaways, and ambitious ideas, he signals to potential partners that his brand is stable, growing, and worth the price. This is why sponsors are willing to commit enormous budgets to work with him. The reinvestment makes every new opportunity bigger than the last, creating an upward spiral that benefits both him and his partners. It's also important to note that reinvestment has allowed him to build infrastructure, not just content. And teams of editors, producers, writers, and managers all exist because of this strategy. These people allow him to scale beyond what one individual could achieve, and they make it possible to run multiple channels and businesses simultaneously. Without reinvestment, none of this infrastructure would exist, and the empire would be much smaller. What makes his approach so powerful is the mindset behind it. He doesn't view money as something to take off the table, but as fuel to push the brand further. Each dollar is a tool to create impact, capture attention, and expand reach. The more he reinvests, the stronger the brand becomes. And the stronger the brand becomes, the more money it generates. It's a cycle of compounding returns built not on saving or hoarding profits, but on relentlessly putting them back into the system to create exponential growth beyond the numbers. One of the most valuable assets MrBeast has built is his brand itself. The videos, the giveaways, the businesses, these are all important. But what ties everything together is the equity in his name and identity. Over the years, he has cultivated a reputation that blends entertainment, generosity, and trust. That reputation has become a kind of currency, something that opens doors far beyond what a traditional creator could access. His brand is no longer limited to YouTube. It is a globally recognized identity that carries influence in multiple industries. Think about how his name impacts every venture he launches. When MrBeast Burger debuted, it wasn't just another fast food experiment, it was instantly a national story because of who was behind it. The same is true for his snack company, Feastables. The products are strong, but the key reason they succeed at scale is because people feel connected to the brand he has built over years of consistent, over-the-top content. Consumers don't just buy the burger or the chocolate bar. They buy into the story of MrBeast. Investment, and that brand connection translates directly into sales and long-term loyalty. This is what brand equity really means. It is the intangible value created by years of trust and recognition. Companies spend billions trying to cultivate the same kind of recognition that he has organically built through his unique content and reinvestment strategies. For him, it means that every new project begins with a built-in audience and credibility. Investors see his brand as low risk and high reward, which is why discussions of billion-dollar valuations are not exaggerations but realistic possibilities. Investment brand equity also fuels opportunities that are not visible to the public. Partnerships, licensing deals, product expansions, and global reach are all made possible because of the weight his name carries. Investment, it creates a competitive moat that makes it nearly impossible for other creators to replicate his success on the same scale. Even if someone else tried to to copy his video style or giveaways, investment, they would not have the same level of brand trust that makes audiences and companies confident in supporting his ventures. What makes this even more powerful is that brand equity compounds over time. The more he delivers on his promises, the stronger the trust becomes. The stronger the trust, the more leverage he has in launching future projects. This cycle turns his identity into an empire of its own, where the value of his name alone holds the potential to rival some of the largest brands in the world. What makes MrBeast's journey so compelling is not just how much he earns today, but the way he is setting himself up for the future. Many creators take the short-term approach, enjoying immediate rewards and living off the peak of their fame while it lasts. He has taken a very different path by focusing on the long-term game plan. Every choice he makes reflects patience, vision, and a belief in compounding growth. Instead of cashing out or slowing down, he is building an empire designed to stand the test of time. One of the clearest signs of this strategy is the way he constantly reinvests and expands. He could easily pocket millions from his YouTube channels alone and live a comfortable life, but instead he chooses to pour money into businesses, teams, and infrastructure. This is not just about making bigger videos today. It's about building systems that can operate and generate income even if the platform changes or fades in relevance. That kind of foresight separates entrepreneurs from entertainers, and it shows he understands how fragile fame can be if it isn't turned into something lasting. He also recognizes the importance of diversification. YouTube ad revenue is powerful, but it is not something you can depend on forever. By creating merchandise lines, launching food companies, and exploring global markets, he ensures that his empire isn't tied to a single source of income. This long-term positioning means that even if algorithms shift, audiences change, or platforms evolve, his businesses will continue to thrive. It's a defensive strategy that doubles as an offensive one, opening up limitless opportunities for future growth. Another part of his game plan is scalability. Every venture he starts is built with the potential to expand far beyond its initial reach. MrBeast Burger began as a delivery-based concept, but scaled into thousands of locations. Feastables started with chocolate bars, but has the potential to grow into a global snack brand. These are not one-off experiments. They are foundations for something much larger. By thinking in decades rather than months, he is laying the groundwork for companies that could outlive his career as a creator. What ties all of this together is his commitment to legacy. His focus isn't just on wealth, investment, but on building something meaningful and impactful that continues long after the cameras stop rolling. The long-term game is about creating an empire that compounds in value and influence year after year, turning short bursts of internet fame into enduring success that spans generations.